Who is going to step down first? Will it be FA Director Kash Patel, Deputy Director Dan, or Attorney General Om Bondi? Whose appear determine whether the storm, what's unfolding within the Trump administration, DOJ and FBI is nothing short of a meltdown. The chaos erupted after memo surfaced from Todd, Trump, former criminal defense lawyer, and now Deputy Attorney General, claiming there is no such thing as an absent client list or incriminating absent file. The memo effectively shut down the investigation, dismissing its baseless. But the blacklist exploded when officials released heavily edited surveillance footage alleged from outside Jeffrey Epstein's jail cell with a conspicuous minute missing. Forensic experts later revealed that the video had been manipulated using Adobe Premiere supplied from several sources, raising serious doubts about its authenticity. Dig a little deeper, and it becomes clearly why this issue might so sensitive. Trump himself, during his first term, Trump reportedly floated the idea of pardoning Maxwell, and now two of his opponents, Bongino and Patel, who were once consecutive media figures promising to expose the truth about Epstein, appear to be aiming in its concealment. They once insisted that exposing Epstein News Network was mega top priority, but now they are part of the establishment allegedly suppressing that very information. Why the shift? The answer may lie in what in the files. According to multiple sources, Trump is referenced in sealed documents under the alias D-174, placing him securely in absent orbit. That alone could explain why those once shouting for transparency and now silent or complicit. Trump has publicly acknowledged his association with the Jeffrey Epstein. In 2002 interview, he described Epstein as a terrific guy who enjoyed the company of women on the younger side. One location linked to Epstein allied recruitment of underage girls was a Mar-a-Lago Trump private club in Florida. Virginia Giuffre, who later became one of the most prominent accusers in the Epstein case, was reportedly homeless at age of 17 when she began working at Mar-a-Lago. After to her testimony, she was introduced there to Maxwell, a close association of both Trump and Epstein, who when brought her to Epstein's circle. Maxwell, later convicted on the multiple sex trafficking charges, was described by Trump during her trial as someone he wished well. Trump's name has appeared in various pieces of released evidence related to Epstein investigation, including flight logos from Epstein private jet. Though only a fraction of those logos have been made public, as well as Epson's so-called Black Book of Contact. Donald Trump's names appear in deposition transcripts related to the Epstein case, including statements from sex trafficking victims who called visiting Trump's properties in Atlantic City with Epstein. One woman who testified during Maxwell trial said she was introduced to Trump when she was just 14-year old. There are numerous documented ties between Trump and Epstein. The two were frequently seen socializing and were considered close friends until a falling out in 2004 over a real estate dispute. Epstein later claimed he was the one who ended their relationship. Given the extent of these connections, from party photos or flight logos to testimony, it's no surprise that Trump would be heavily implicated if the full Epstein files were released. Critics have long questioned why figures like Dan Bonino and Kash Patel, who previously vowed to expose the absent files, are now silent. According to journalist Mary Margaret, frictions are mounting inside Trump camp with reports of internal conflict and anger over the failure to follow through on promises to make the files public. A source close to the Department of Justice reports that Kash Patel and pushing for Attorney General Tom Bondi to be removed from her position and has indicated he many resign if Deputy FBI Director Dan Bonino steps down. Frustration continues to build within the administration, particularly over Bondi's failure to release certain documents related to the absent investigation. Whether the issue involves single client list or multiple files, many believe the roadmap to uncovering the Trump's involvement in straightforward investigation are calling for these lists of all records linked to BO 174, the identifier associated with Donald Trump in absent files, as well as grand jury testimony from the 14-year-old victim mentioned in the criminal case. They also want access to full flight logos, unedited surveillance footage, and communication between Epstein and Trump, particularly concerning visit to Mar-a-Lago, according to analysts. Only about 10% of Epstein material have been publicly released so far. Even within that limited portion, numerous links to Trump have already been documented, raising questions about what remains in the unreleased 900. Outrage is also growing among prominent conservative influencer. Social media figure Carter has demanded Bondi held accountable, saying she should have already addressed the situation with a full press conference. Mega influencer Rob Starbuck echoed those sentiments, saying if a choice between Dan Bonino and Tom Bondi, there is no contest. Bondi should resign and be removed immediately. Her mishandling of the absent case is damaging the entire administration. NBCC Alan Smith reports the Bonino is furious and that his career may be irreparably harmed by the scandal. Once insiders revealed Bonino is threatening to quit unless Bondi is fired. Despite the mounting criticism, Bondi appears determined to stay in his role. Commentator Kelly summed it up bluntly: if it comes down to Veneno or Bounty, the choice is obvious. Bounty has to go. Game confirmed it's been Bonino and Bounty, one source said, and the choice is clear. Bounty has to go. It's worth nothing that Dan Bonino once made a career and a substantial income as a right-wing commentator by loudly decrying the so-called deep state and frequently invoking abstract conspiracy theories. Now, ironically, Bonino finds himself viewed by many as part of that very establishment railed against his credibility within the mega movement is collapsing and he knows it. Unless the manages to scapegoat Bondi and inframe himself as the whistleblower or hero, Menino's political and publicly persona may be irreparably damaged. In fact, the contrast is so stark that our editor-in-chief, Ron, put together a revealing side-by-side comparison. On the left, Bonino as a firebrand building a right-wing media following on the right, Bonino in its current role as Deputy FBI Director. Play the clip.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go. Keep your eye on that.
Recently, There were signs that Dan Menino might be cracking under pressure. About a month ago, he appeared on Fox News and complained about how difficult his job had become in a way that made it seem like he had never held a demanding position before. He lamented, I have to show up to work. I have to go an office every morning, promoting visible discomfort from the Fox host. He spoke about how challenging it's been on his family, framing the job as an overwhelming burden. Just take a look, play the clip.
What did you think the job was going to be like? What is it like?
The biggest lifestyle change for me has been family wise.
Now, according to Laura Loomer, who believe it or not, claims to have several well-placed sources inside White House. Here's what she reported. The Department of Justice reportedly in disarray, shifting into damage control as it attempts to parachute cash bottle and the FBI to publicly support Pam Bondi, now mockingly referred to by critics as scam blondie. The effort appears in the reinforcing narrative that there is no internal conflict between Bondi and Deputy FBI Director Dan Bonino. Source with the DOJ says Bondi on team is increasingly uneasy with her efforts to pressure both Patel and Bonino into make statements they are unwilling to endorse. This comes in report, including my own, that Bonino recently took the day off and is seriously considering resigning over Bondi's handling of the absent file and what many see as her lack of transparency. Bonino certainly walked out of the office saying he was working and would not be come back. He did not show up on Friday and has not been seen since. Some people, he said, stopped showing up as early as Wednesday and has not been around for a while. He has not been doing any work. So at this point, we all assume he's probably gone for good. And honestly, by the time I finish recording this, he might already be gone. Just putting that out there. As a reminder, back in February, Pam Bondi claimed she had the absent client list on her desk and was preparing to release it. Here's what she said. Let's play the clip.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk.
Remember, she brought along a group of right wing influencers who proudly held up the Phase 1 Epson bender. It was not any new Epson material. It was the same old stuff, just Epson phone list by the way. Trump's name was on the list too, but everyone only received redacted version. On Friday, there was a major conference hosted by Trump pointing USA, a big mega event. Charlie Kirk spoke with Megyn Kelly. Here's what happened. Let's roll the clip.
No, we all have busy lives, and President Trump has a busy life, and I don't think he realizes how much he's humiliated the administration. This is a self-inflicted.
Just quick reminder. Here's a clip of Trump partying with Epson. Go ahead and play it.
Now, Trump goes to greet three new guests, among them the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
There you have it, folks. Now you decided who going to quit. Will it be Beno, Patel, or maybe Scam Blandy? People all over the palace with this.